Hello and welcome to part 2 of module 3, where we'll discuss Amazon DynamoDB. So in the previous session, we have discussed Lambda functions and what are their uses. And in this module, we'll discuss about Amazon DynamoDB. So Amazon DynamoDB is a key value and document database that delivers single digit millisecond performance at any scale. It is fully managed, multi-region, multi-master, durable database with built-in security, backup and restore, and in-memory caching for internet-scale applications. So DynamoDB can handle more than 10 trillion requests per day and can support peaks of more than 20 million requests per second. So, in current scenario, world fastest growing businesses such as Lyft, Airbnb, and Redfin, as well as enterprises such as Samsung, Toyota, and Capital One, depend on the scale and performance of DynamoDB to support their mission critical workloads. So, hundreds of thousands of AWS customers have chosen DynamoDB as their key value and document database for mobile, web, gaming, and IoT applications. Let's discuss some of the features of DynamoDB. So, for the first feature, it's fully managed and no SQL database. So that means it is not structured. We can put any kind of data into DynamoDB, whether it's structured or not, it has schema or not. So it doesn't depend on the schema and all. So it's basically can be used for data science and other applications where we are not sure what kind of data that will be coming to a database. So that's one of the feature of DynamoDB. Second, it's document or key value paired structure. So that means like we have like keys and value assigned to them kind of a structure, and these kind of data will be can be stored in DynamoDB. Third is it can scale to any workload. So as we discussed, that it can process millions of requests every second. So it's highly scalable. It can work on any load. The fourth one is like it's fast and consistent. So you don't have to worry about speed. So you can easily rely on this for speed and other stuffs. And fifth one is like access control. So you can use IAM policy to give access to anybody to DynamoDB, and you can use leverage the IAM functionalities in DynamoDB as well. And the sixth one and the most important one is event-driven programming. So DynamoDB, as we discussed in the previous sessions, can be used in event-driven architecture, like serverless architecture, where we can use DynamoDB with Lambda functions and other AWS services to create serverless applications. Now, if we discuss about DynamoDB data model, we have the first thing that comes to our mind is table. So any database, we should be first focusing on the table structure of the database. So we have table here. Then in that table, we have multiple items that are represented as rows in this diagram. And each of these items will have some attributes. So it can have like 4 or 5 attributes or single attribute. So that's not an issue. Since it's non-structured database, we can have any number of attributes to each items. So after that, the the most important thing like comes to our mind is partition key. So we should have a partition key in each uh, database table, because that only uniquely identifies the database table. So partition key is mandatory in this case. Another feature of partition key that it should be unique for each table. So apart from partition key, we can have a short key as well, sort key. So the sort key can be used, but it is not mandatory. So without sort key also we can have a table. So when we create Amazon DynamoDB table, we will be creating the table with partition key only. Will not be creating sort key. So in the coming lecture, when we'll give the demo, I will show you how to create the table and all. Now let's see one data model example. So here we have customer ID and as a prime partition key, and order timestamp plus ID as a sort key. So these two in combination gives the primary key of the table. So, and the final data, the item data will be S3 object key. So if you see S3 object key, you'll find these things. So the order timestamp plus ID will help in sorting the data according to timestamp. So that is the help of sort key here. But the partition key will be the customer ID. So that will be unique. That will help in giving the partition key. So this is how like we can differentiate what is partition key and sort key, and together they combine to give the primary key. Now let's review the DynamoDB features which we have learned till now. So it's a fully managed NoSQL database. It can scale to any workload. It's schemaless. That means like you can have uh, one attribute or multiple attribute, no attribute, not an issue. So this is completely unstructured. So you don't have to worry about that. Now the fourth one is it's a key value store. So the data will be stored in the form of key and value. And the final thing is like you can create, modify, delete, query, and scan operations. You can do these operations on DynamoDB table. So that's all from module 3.